after crunching the numbers, analyzing the races, speaking to some of the top sports analysts in Jamaica, as well as listening to the predictions of one of the greatest sprint coaches of all time and one of the greatest athletes of all time. We predict that Jamaica will take first and second in the men's 100 meters at the Paris Olympic Games. Welcome back to the channel, people. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, thank you for making it Peter Lloyd World. Go ahead, please hit the subscribe button so we can continue to grow. When you do that, hit the notification bell so you know when the next video drops. We drop a video at least once a day here in Peter Lloyd World. Also, if you enjoy the content, please hit the like button and finally leave your thoughts. So, ready? Yeah! Good to go. Well, these words by Kishane Thompson, I was never short on confidence, but I believe I have much more to do as I can run way faster, gave me significant boost because it means that outside of just being fast, this young man has the confidence to deliver in Paris. But I also think that the other young man that I've been talking about continuously, Oblique Seville, is going to be a major factor, and I am predicting here, based on all our research, and we'll tell you why, that Jamaica should take first and second in the men's 100 meters, and I believe the winning time will be something close, hear me, to a 9.69 to a 9.75. Now, I understand that this prediction must come as a surprise to many of you. I mean, no one has been even saying this. But I've really been crunching the numbers, people, and I've been looking at this, particularly since the entire world pretty much has decided that Lyles has already won the men's 100 meters, and we should just maybe not have the race and just hand him. In fact, look, I get it. I understand what you're thinking. So just bear with me and listen to where and why we came up with these numbers and this particular prediction. Now, I know that you've been hearing that Kishane Thompson can win, and even I myself was leaning towards the fact that Kishane Thompson would win. I still believe he has a massive chance of winning, but I honestly think that Oblique Seville is being underlooked here. We're not taking a realistic look at Oblique Seville. So let's go over the finals of the men's 100 meters at the Jamaican National Trials. We're going to look at this race from several angles for me to make my first and one of my most important points about why I think Jamaica should walk away with 1 and 2 in that event, and why I think the race will be as fast as a 9.69 all the way to a 9.75. Watch the race from a different angle first. Now, from this angle, you can clearly see when Kishane Thompson lines up with Oblique Seville, which is about 60 meters into that race, he eases up. It's kind of very obvious. I'm not saying he loses his stride pattern, but what most people don't realize is that Oblique Seville does pretty much the same thing. In the last 20 meters, both Oblique and Kishane are looking at the clock. Because Kishane is the more dominant, taller figure, we're seeing him. But if you look carefully, I'm going to show the same video from 2 more angles. Both of them are looking at the clock. Both of them clearly ease off. It's more apparent with Kishane. And I'm going to show you the video now from another perspective and slow it down. You just saw it from one perspective, from a spectator in the middle of the stands, halfway through the race. So you can see, go back and look at it. This is at regular speed, that once they get they're side by side, both of these young men slow down. Kishane being much more obvious. Watch. Now, just in case you just really can't see it, and the only way you wouldn't see that he slows all the way down, we're going to show it to you in even slower motion from about 60 meters. The moment he levels with Oblique, even he maintains his form, but he's no longer pushing. Watch, then 20 to 15 meters in, he's just looking at the clock. When he hits that last line, he decelerates. Watch again, in the even slower motion. You can see clearer. Now, the gentleman who's touted to win is this young man, Noah Lyles. And I do admire Noah Lyles. In fact, at the London Diamond League, he ran a new PB, which works out to its 9.81 into a minus 0.03 wind. Now, for those who don't understand, that means he was running into the wind, so the wind was slowing him down. And the wind was approximately minus 0.03. So technically, he ran, had there been no wind, he would have run something close to a 9.79, which is very impressive. And if there was a wind behind him, he was probably running something closer to a 9.77. That is very, very impressive. That is a no-joke run. That is serious. And I can understand why some people believe he will win. But here's the thing. He was flat out. He was flat out. At no point does he ease up. This is as fast as he can get. He's flat out, 100%. That is not a joke. Watch.
Set. Well, a good start from Lyles. Also going really well, Tobago leading the moment. Here comes Lyles, though, easing through, going well on the inside. Simbina, but Lyles is going to take it.
Noah Lyles was giving it his all. That was flat out. Flat out. So let's take away the wind. He ran 9.79 without the wind. Very impressive. That's actually extremely impressive because personally I didn't think he would ever be able to run faster than 9.80. And I'm not disrespecting him just based on the mechanics. But clearly this young man is very, very, very talented. But he was flat out. Kishane Thompson, you saw the raid 3 times from 2 different angles, was nowhere near flat out. He ran hard for the first 60 and then he shut down. And in the last, if you go back in the last 5 to 6 meters, he almost stops running. He was only concerned with making it to Paris because that's what one of the greatest sprint coaches, if not the greatest female sprint coach of all time, and certainly one of the greatest coaches, period, in sprints all time, told him, which is, of course, Stephen Francis. And what did Stephen Francis say? And I've said it to you several times. And anyone who knows anything about Stephen Francis, that he doesn't do hyperbole. He doesn't exaggerate. So if he tells you an athlete can run 10.70, he can probably run 10.60. If he tells you that an athlete can run 9.70, he can probably be something faster. Probably a 9.65. He doesn't do hyperbole. This is what he said after watching Kishane Thompson run that 100 meters. This is what he said about what he think Kishane could have ran had he ran all out.
Saw him doing the final. I think if he had maintained that burst of speed he had between 40 and 60, out to the line, he probably would have run 9.6, 9 or thereabouts, 9.70. I'm at the worst.
Now for Oblique Seville. Now, outside of myself and a few other sports analysts I spoke with, the greatest male sprinter of all time, Usain Bolt, seems to agree that he can possibly win. Listen.
So I think they will win. If he can stay healthy, he's going to cause a lot of problems. He's been just out the medals every year in 4th place. He looks excellent. And I know my coach, if he's preparing you and you're fit, he's going to win for sure.
Now, just in case you doubt Usain Bolt, the fastest man of all time, the greatest male sprinter all time, okay, let's say you doubt him. There is a race from racers in the men's 100 meters where he trounced Noah Lyles. It was kind of obvious. And what was really telling about that race, he ran a PB of 9.82 that he reproduced at the Jamaican National Trials in the men's 100 meters. That 9.82 has to be taken with a massive grain of salt, because 10 meters out, he slows down to look back at Noah Lyles. He never ran straight through that line. And I am telling you, I've been saying it, he has sub 9.80 in his legs. And not to mention the fact that he has been right on the cusp twice, and he's being trained by the greatest male sprint coach of all time. Why is he the greatest? Well, he happened, meaning Glenn Mills, he happened to have coached the two greatest male sprinters in history, Johan Blake and Usain Bolt, the two fastest men in the history of the 100 and, note, and the 200 meters. So I think Oblique Seville is seriously dangerous, and we're just not talking about him. Now, is he healthy? I haven't heard anything about him not being healthy. I heard that there might have been an issue and they took him to Italy and whatever, but I've not heard anything since. If he's healthy, it's game over. Listen, watch the race.
In the blue ribbon event, a marquee event, the set position. Lyles got a cracking start. Hughes, Seville and Omanyala trying to stay with them. Seville is running a stout race. Lyles coming back. Oblique Seville.
Even the legendary Olympian Donovan Bailey, who ran for Canada, who is Jamaican, born in Jamaica, had this to say regarding the men's 100 meters. 1996 Olympic 100 meters champion Donovan Bailey says US media should temper their expectations around Noah Lyles in men's short sprint at the Paris Olympics. Now, this, of course, is my 2 cents. Yes, after speaking to several sports analysts, listening to the words of Stephen Francis, listening to the words of Usain Bolt, analyzing their races, both Oblique Seville and Kishane Thompson's races, analyzing Noah Lyles, let me just be clear. Noah Lyles is not going to lose easily. It's just not going to happen. When you get used to winning, you get used to winning. He believes that he will win. He honestly thinks he will win. Now, the only 2 things that stand in our way are these things. 1, Oblique Seville, it's injury. He has a confidence. He thrashed Noah Lyles. He thrashed him so much that Noah Lyles wasn't even running the way Noah Lyles normally runs at the end of that race. He was overstriding and desperately trying to catch him. And as I said, Oblique slowed down enough to look back and ran 9.82. He didn't go flat out. He could have shaved off several, 0.0 off that. So I really think that that young man is in 9.7473 shape. I honestly think this. Also, he didn't run all the way through the line either in the finals at the men's 100 meters at Jamaican National Championships. Go back and look. Kishane is more dominant and taller, so you're seeing Kishane. Even in this picture that I chose, this is the end of the men's 100 meters. Look at Oblique Seville's face. He's calm. He didn't run all out. Remember, he's being coached by the greatest male sprinting coach of all time, Glenn Mills. That's indisputable, regardless of where you're from. I really think the only challenge he may have is injury. If he's not injured, it's game over. He has the experience and he has the knowledge. He's no longer intimidated by anyone in that field, and he knows that he can easily beat, not easily, he can beat Noah Lyles. Now, the other person that one has to think about, Kishane Thompson. The only challenge Kishane Thompson honestly has is the experience. How will he react on the world stage with almost 1 billion human beings watching him? Based on his confidence, I don't think there'll be an issue. I don't think Kishane Thompson thinks that he's not capable of breaking the world record. Yeah, you heard me right. I think he actually thinks he can. The way he's running, Now, I broke down that race from 2 different angles 3 times. Normal speed, slow, and then even slower. Go back and look. Both Kishane and Oblique did not go all out. None of them did. They both have much more in the tank. I really think Jamaica should, if all goes according to plan and nothing untoward happens, I really do believe that Jamaica should take 1st and 2nd place in the men's 100 meters at the Paris Olympic Games in the finals. Who is going to beat whom? Not sure. I'm leaning towards Kishane, but I also think Oblique can honestly do it. I think Noah Lyles will have to settle for 3rd, but this, of course, is my 2 cents. Now, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, notification bell, hit the like button. Remember, you are royals, kings and queens. Bless up!